Hello family, welcome to Gospel Digest on this YouTube channel where we bring to you the latest in gospel entertainment news, gist and anything gospel in between. Lecrae and Tedashii are two of the most prominent names in the Christian hip-hop scene. Their music has inspired and encouraged millions of listeners around the world, but their journey to becoming Christian artists was not always straightforward. Tedashii, whose real name is Tedashii Anderson, initially pursued a career in journalism. He attended Baylor University in Texas, where he majored in communication and was a member of track and field team. He had a passion for writing and storytelling, but the music was just a hobby for him. But it was during his time at Baylor that Tedashii met Lecrae, who was also a student at the time. They bonded over their love for hip-hop and they shared faith in Jesus Christ. Lecrae had already started making music and had released his debut album Real Talk in 2014. Lecrae saw something in Tedashii's talent and urged him to try making music. Tedashii was hesitant at first, as he had never considered himself a musician. He also didn't think of himself as a Christian artist, as his faith was not the focus of his music. But Lecrae persisted, and eventually, Tedashii agreed to collaborate on a song with him. The result was Kingdom People, a track that showcased both artist skills and their commitment to their faith. The song was a hit, and Tedashii soon found himself being invited to perform at Christian events and churches. For Tedashii, this was a turning point in his career. He realized that his music could be a powerful tool for spreading the message of the gospel, and he began to embrace his identity as a Christian artist. Today, Tedashii is one of the most respected names in Christian hip-hop. He has released several successful albums, including Backlight, Below Paradise, and Neverfold. His music combines raw honesty, introspection, and a deep understanding of Christian faith. Tedashii's journey is just a reminder that our path in life can be unpredictable and unexpected. Sometimes, the things that we think we are meant to do turn out to be just stepping stones to something greater. Lecrae's encouragement and belief in Tedashii's talent helped him discover a new passion and purpose. It also paved the way for Tedashii to use his gifts and talents to inspire and uplift others. The story of Tedashii and Lecrae's collaboration is a testament of the power of community and the importance of having people in our lives who believe in us, even when we don't believe in ourselves. It also highlights the transformative power of faith and the ways in which it can guide us to our true calling. In the end, Tedashii's journey shows us that it's never too late to discover our purpose and use our talents for good. We just need to be open to the unexpected paths that life can take us on and trust that God has a plan for our lives, even when we can't see it.
Lecrae was like, yo, man, I'm getting ready to work on this project with this dude, Ben. I think you should meet him. I would love for you to be on the project. And I was like, okay, sure, I guess. I don't know. And so he does Real Talk, his first album. Yeah. And he asked me to be on a song. Then he asked me to be on another song. Then he asked me to be on another song.
And you just
then he asked me to do an interlude. Then he asked me to do the intro. And it was just like, yo, okay, all right, cool. I think from that engagement, Lecrae thought, oh, he down to rap. He want to do that. But I didn't want to rap. And I think that's a misconception people have. Is like, yo, when you got into this, like, had you always been rapping? A lot of people in interviews will be like, were you rapping secular first? And I'm just like, nah, I was going to school to be a journalist and
So welcome back from that little video explainer from Tedashii himself on the podcast with Is Harris hosting and everything from the Rich Records camp. This is actually one of the videos that interests me so much. In about some few years now, Tedashii has really been laid back and quiet. Even with releasing music, he hasn't done a lot of new music release and everything. We all know, if you follow CHH Kinley and then you follow the Rich Records family and even Tedashii himself, you realize that he's had a lot of battling with his health and even with that of his family and him losing close relatives and all of that. So you can see that he's actually low on the side of putting out new music and everything. But Tedashii's story is a story that hasn't really had a lot of, like, he's a person who's not really vocal, I would say, and then he hasn't really shared a lot with regards to how he started his music and everything. Like, there really isn't that deep storytelling with regards to how his own music career started. maybe he has shared, but it hasn't been that story or that thing that has really got a lot of people talking or asking questions. When he actually made this statement, when he said this on a podcast, I was really intrigued because he's one man that you can't really find a lot of things to say about or to speak of, because he's a type of a laid back person, except he's on a beat or he's jumping to a song or something. But for what Tedashii has said, man, I mean, listen, this is one thing that we really need to take serious as Christian creatives, or we really need to take serious as Christians in general. Your friendship, your associations. Because you can see that from the story, from the narrative that he gave, I can say with an authority and then with the fact that Lecrae is that one person that influenced Tedashii to even start doing music in the first place. Because you realize that he was someone who was studying in school in the University of Baylor to become a journalist, and he was also on a team, and then he was on a way to becoming a coach. I don't know whether it was a football coach or a basketball coach, but then he was studying to become a coach and then a journalist. But you realize right now is that what we know Tedashii for is that he's a musician, he's an artist who is signed to Reach Records. He's been able to have a lot of impact, and I personally know him because he's an artist. He's a Christian hip-hop artist who has released several songs and a number of albums that he has to his catalog and everything. And so let's just say if he didn't play the part of being an artist, he would probably be a journalist or a coach, as he said. And so what are the chances of me being here in Ghana or in Africa getting to know of Tedashii? The chances are very minimal, because there are so many journalists, and then journalists are such that a lot of them work in the confine of their country or their community or their district. But playing the part of being a gospel artist or playing the part of actually being a Christian artist, it's what has brought him impact. It's what has brought impact to the extent of someone called Mr. Magnificent in Ghana or in Africa knowing about him. So how all of these things started, how his music career kick-started, was the fact that Lecrae invited him to be a part of a certain project that he was working on. He did that. He wasn't sure of how it was going to turn out. He did that. It was good. Lecrae was like, let's do another one. He did it, was like, cool, let's do another one. And he realized, this thing that I'm doing, I mean, it can actually become a career. It can actually become something that I can do full time, or it turns out to be something that I'm really good at. So then it became something that he entered or ventured into fully. This makes us understand a very biblical truth, or gives us some type of wisdom nugget that goes to say that we should be very mindful of our friends and our associations, because the friends we have around us are the people that are going to influence us, neither positively or negative. In the case of Tedashii, the influence of Lecrae on his life was actually something really positive, because Lecrae influenced him into getting, or it was through Lecrae that he discovered that he could actually do something called music. I mean, he had music, he was doing music, but then music wasn't something that was actually or really on his mind that he even ever thought of doing it full time. But then because of the influence of Lecrae, he's been able to do music, and then he's been able to have a lot of impact in the lives of people. So as Christian creatives, once again, as gospel artists, or even as Christians in general, please, let's be very, very mindful of the type of associations that we make, because these people are either going to make us follow purpose or walk in the purpose of God, or walk in destiny fulfillment, or fall out of the will of God, or fall out of the purpose of God. So yes, this is my little digest on this subject. My name is Mr. Magnificent. Make sure you like this video, leave a comment. What do you think about this? Also, subscribe to this YouTube channel, turn on the bell notification icon so you never miss a video anytime we post on this channel. It's bye for now.
So please whatever. Please I want to reach 1 million likes. So please okay, thank you.